welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Tika Tikah, back at you with another mukbang. It's been a few days since I've done one. I decided to do like a mystery one, but this is actually Chinese food, so which I haven't had in so long, and I'm so hungry for it. Let's see if I can pull us out of here. Now I just kind of ordered here and there with different things. There's no way I think I can eat all of this. That's okay. I don't even know. I didn't even go through any of this. Ooh, let me. For some reason, this particular place that I always go to ends up having it like kind of like spill in the bag. But I more or less care about like spilling on my shirt though. It's like a suede shirt, so. But we'll make this work. I wonder how your guys' week has been, because mine's been crazy a little bit. I've literally been sick in bed. You could probably still hear it in my voice a little. My last video, I just kind of woken up sick, and then now I'm like legitly sick. So I did order some soups, some war wonton soups. And I like how good this looks. Look at this. It's steaming still. It's delicious. Just gonna like pour this whole thing in here. Trying to do a little bit like low sodium because I've been retaining water a little bit. This came, okay, so I know I said low sodium, but I really want to put soy sauce in this, so I'm going to. Because it's my food. Today I woke up and I was like, I really want to eat Chinese food. I'm having the hardest day ever because today it's been 6 months since I lost one of my babies. And no, this baby was not a person. This baby was my fur baby. And I'm still trying to like recover from it. It's really tough. So I'm going to try not to cry today. Let's see what else I got here. So believe it or not, this whole thing's filled with soup too. It's just one serving. So I'm going to start off with this. I also ordered one of my favorites. It's beef and broccoli. Oh my god, it smells so good. So this is the beef and broccoli. So good. And then I think I did mushroom chicken, but I'm not 100% sure. I really like mushrooms, and honestly, I always order mushroom chicken. That way I don't have to share with anybody, because everybody I know hates mushrooms. So I get it all to myself, I guess. This one looks so good too. It's more soupier, a little bit. I don't know if you can see. But it's more like a soup sauce. So yeah, this is my spread. I have, this one's Nestea White Peach. I love white peaches. They are so watermelon and white peaches are my favorite fruit. Love it, love it, love it. So I'm drinking this today. And then I've also got, how can you live in Canada without drinking Canada Dry, hey? So I've got some Canada Dry just for my throat and everything, so I don't lose my voice on you guys today. So yeah, this is the spread. So I think I'm going to start off with, and I also got white rice too, just to add to things, but I'm really finicky on my white rice. I like, kind of like a jasmine rice is my favorite, but we'll try this. This is good. This is long grain rice. I can deal with this. I'll try some broccoli first. This is so good. I love broccoli so much, and this one is not like overcooked, but it's cooked enough. And then like the big chunks of beef is so good. I've had sushi within the last couple months, but I haven't had Chinese food in so long. Just mushroom chicken. I I don't think that there's a mushroom that I've had yet that I haven't liked. All of it I've loved. Ooh, hot. Let's try the soup. This is one of my favorite soups when I go to this place, because I always order this just because it's literally loaded with fresh vegetables. And the wontons are really, really good too. Wontons are one of my favorite things to eat. I wonder if this one has one. Yeah, so here's some wontons in it right here. It's probably hot. I'm so eager to eat because I literally, when you're laying in bed and sick and you just don't eat, like you really don't. You drink water, ginger ale, crackers, but you don't eat when you feel sick, and it sucks. It's really good. I'm gonna drink some of this. I've been catching up on my like hydration from being sick. I hate being down and out because I rarely ever get sick, but when I get sick, it's just like knock me on my butt sick, can't do nothing, can't go nowhere, can't do anything. Oh, this is so good. It tastes so much like white peaches, but it's not carbonated and it goes down really smooth and I love it. Yummy. I'm not used to carbonated drinks, but the ginger ale has been my best friend the last couple days, so we're gonna stick with that. This has little tiny pieces of corn in it too. There goes the. I spilled many things in this particular room. It's so good. With as hungry as my eyes are right now, I feel like I could eat this whole thing, but I doubt it. So today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about loss of friends and pets and just different things like that. Fortunately for me, I haven't had to lose a lot of people in my life. I'm very fortunate. But I have lost a lot of pets. Given that my mom used to work for a vet's office, we'd always take like strays in and things like that, or animals that were still had great life left in them, but that were terminal. And she raised me to really appreciate animals and what they can bring into your life. You know, there's some people that are born that they're destined to have animals in their life their whole life, and there's people that just don't do pets. They hate it. I've always had a pet, no matter what. When I didn't have like one that was on 4 legs, I had one that swam. I've loved all of them. But you know what? I feel like since I've had children, it really deepens your love for other things and connection. And after I got my last dog, Hunter, so I'll give you a little backstory on Hunter. Hunter is one of the sweetest dogs in the world. He is just one big pup, right? Running around, wild, crazy, crazy dog. The friendliest dog. He would never bite anybody. I mean, kids could literally jump on him, pull his hair, attack him, rip half his tail off, and he would still sit there and lick them and just be like so sweet and just ready to fetch. This last time, I told my husband, this last time I get a pet, I'm not getting any more. And so he told me to choose really wisely and pick something that I really felt like spoke to my heart, because I wanted to get something that I really had a connection with. So I didn't know if it was going to be a dog or a cat or a fish or a gerbil or just anything. I was open-minded, but one key thing in life for me is to feel safe. And just like many of you, you want to feel safe every single day. And some people have pets to feel safe. Some people have them for companions or different things. For me, my safety and my kid's safety is like the biggest thing. And I didn't particularly decide to get a dog because of safety. I got a picture, I fell in love with Hunter as soon as I saw his picture. I was looking online through ads for dogs and other pets, and then I saw somebody was selling Labrador Retrievers in Vancouver. And Vancouver's quite a ways away from my place, but I contacted them and they told me that they only had 2 puppies left. But somebody was looking at one of them. And I do feel like older dogs do add a lot of value in your life. But for me, having younger kids, I wanted to have a dog that was going to be able to grow with them and trust them and things like that. So for me at this particular time, I decided I wanted to get a puppy. And this is so good, this mushroom chicken. This is going to be like my main go-to for this whole meal because it just tastes so good. Haven't spelt on myself yet. But yeah, I was looking online and I contacted them, and they were a reputable breeder because in Canada here, you kind of, in order to get dogs, you have to go through like a breeder unless you know somebody personally. And so I looked into the agency and they were all great. Like every puppy they've ever had there, well taken care of, had all its shots, everything. And they were raised on a farm, so they were used to being around other animals and just all around really friendly dogs. So yeah, I asked him to send me pictures of the last 2 puppies, and he sent me a picture of one, and then told me that some people might be interested in the puppy. And I said, okay. Then he showed me the other one, and all of a sudden, my heart fluttered so much. I had butterflies in my stomach. I was like, that's the one. And I could cry right now because I don't even want to think about it, but I knew the second I saw him that he was the one for my family. I'm going to try to keep it together. I just remember those feelings. Anybody that's been a mom before or a fur baby parent knows those feelings when they see their baby. You know what I mean? So I told him, I was like, what is it going to take to get this dog? Because I didn't want to drive all the way to Vancouver because I had young kids at the time, and it was a difficult trip because it's far and definitely a far away. So he told me that if I just paid extra, he'd be willing to bring him further and I could meet up with him and get my dog. So I paid all the fees for him and got him all of his rest of his things that he needed, and went shopping with my husband to get him all of like puppy stuff. We were determined to give this dog the best life. So I remember coming off the ferry and seeing this little Labrador wrapped up in a white towel. How I wish I still had that white towel, but the mom in me, when things turn to junk, I throw it away or fix it, but this was unrepairable. But I saw him wrapped up in a little towel. He was so cute. I got him and we went straight into like the doggy area on the ferry. And I just remember looking at him and I was so proud to have him be part of my family, like super proud. Because I was just like, this is the best dog ever. He's so cute. I mean, he could do nothing wrong. Even just the way he walked was like the cutest thing. I got off the ferry, introduced him to my husband and one of my friends that had come down with us. And they're like, he's so cute. I'm like, I know. Came home. Told the kids that we had a new pet. They saw him. Because, you know, some kids you don't want to tell right away because then they get like, they ask too much way too quick. Like, when's the dog getting here? When's the dog getting here? So I elected to not tell them until after we got home. And, The kids fell in love with him so hard. I mean, I don't think there's a bed he didn't sleep in that night. He wanted to sleep everywhere with everybody, and everybody wanted a piece of him, and he was just swaddled and loved on, and just everything. When you're a dog and you come into a family that has 7 people in it, you're like super loved. You're like the best thing in the world that's happened to that family. So yeah, I brought him home, and life just went by so quick. I mean, just like any other kids, he had his moments where he wanted to be really naughty at a certain age, then super good, and then he went through his chewing phase and everything. I found out, this is where my tough part gets, and I'm going to try not to get too crazy emotional, because I've seen videos where everybody's crying, and it's okay to be emotional and cry. But, I mean, I'm like the ugliest crier in the world. And I already can't hardly breathe anyway, like, it'll make it worse. We had friends over for a barbecue, and this was back last year in March. And like I said, Hunter loves to be loved on. He had just passed his like 2nd birthday. And I told my daughter, can you give him a bath tonight, because he's so sticky with marshmallows from all the kids. And she didn't have a problem with that. She's like, yeah, Mom, I'll give him a bath. So she gives him a bath, and she's like, Mom, what's this lump on Hunter's rib? And I'm thinking, okay, like this is weird. So I go feel it, and honestly, it's like tiny. It's like the size of like a marble, right? A little bit larger than a smaller marble, just like this size. And I'm thinking, okay, we go in the woods a lot. Maybe my dog ended up poking himself on one of the branches and got an infection. Or maybe it's a spider bite from going through the bushes. Or maybe it's like a cyst, because I've dealt with a cyst with him before. When I first got him, he developed a bit of a cyst. So I'm thinking it's one of those 3 things. I wasn't thinking anything bad, right? Like, I literally thought it was one of those things. And so she backed him up. I told my husband about it. You know, growing up with a mom, she was always like a fix-it-yourself kind of mom. And even with all the pets she had at home, if they had any injuries, she'd take care of it at home. That's like got to the point where you need to go to a vet. So what had happened was I told my husband, let's just keep an eye on it. And I didn't see any like punctures in the skin, but you never know, like dogs can poke themselves on anything. So we just kept an eye on him, but I started noticing after about 3 days, he wasn't eating as much as he normally does. Like, this dog is like, as soon as he smells me cooking in the kitchen, he runs right in there. Like, he's in there, he's over by the stove, and he wants his piece of meat. He always has this piece of meat. After having him, I'm messy. What do? He just kind of started not eating as much anymore. And so I kept an eye on him, and I still would, because our family is unlimited food. So our dog always just has a big bowl of food filled, and he just kind of eats whenever he wants. And that's important to us, because we want our dogs to be healthy. And I think that when you start restricting their food, they kind of like binge eat a lot harder. So I was always raised to just give them whatever they feel like they need, if you are able to do that in your means. And he was super active, so he's always running with the kids, so it wasn't ever an issue. But he's kind of stopped eating, and I noticed his lump got a little bit bigger. Like, it went from the size of like a little bit larger of a marble to like half the size of an egg. And it wasn't hot to touch or anything. So I was like, okay, like, I told my husband, I'm gonna get us in with the vet just to get it checked out. I don't know what the situation is. The vet's office couldn't get us in right away. And I told us they were at least like a week out from getting us in, and I told them what was happening, and they're like, as long as he's still eating and he's okay, you know, just wait for your appointment. So by the time I took him to the appointment, this thing was like, honestly, like the size of like half an orange. Like if you took an orange, like, you know, just like a medium-sized orange, cut it in half, and it was like that half. It was that size on his side of his ribs. So I was really concerned because my dog doesn't jump off of crazy stuff, so I didn't think he broke any bones. I didn't know what was going on. I thought, honestly, at that point when I saw that, I was like, okay, my dog, maybe he ate a sock. He's notorious for loving socks. So maybe he ate a sock, got like a bowel obstruction or something. Nope, it wasn't that. So I took him over to the vet. And this vet knows him since he's a pup. And he felt around, asked me if he'd maybe been hit by a car or something. I told him no. Like, he's like one of my kids. I'm a helicopter mom, so I know where they are all the time. Hunter never is without me watching him and knowing where he is at all times. So the vet ended up checking him over and feeling, and he looks at me and he just like, you could tell when that doctor's face changed. He looked at me and he's like, I think your dog's got osteosarcoma. I'm like, what is that? You know, he's like, it's bone cancer. I literally, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to feel, but I didn't believe him. I absolutely didn't believe him. And I know we should trust our vets and trust our doctors, but I've always been taught to get a second opinion. I didn't believe him. But he told me if I want a second opinion, I can go to another vet. So I did. Scheduled an appointment with another vet. And got in within about 5 days after that, because I live remote, so it's kind of hard getting in with the vets here. They're already pretty busy. You can make your appointments like way in advance. I got in with the vet, and she told me, she says, we can do things a few different ways. We can do a biopsy or an x-ray, or we can, you know, do blood work, whatever you want to do. But it's, you know, it's expensive, and I don't have pet insurance, so I was like, he's my baby. Like, literally, if you're going to have a pet, you want to take care of him. I was like, let's do it all. I need to know what's going on, because I'm one of those people, I'd rather know everything than not know nothing. So, these ladies were great. They did everything same day. They took the biopsy and did the blood work and did the x-rays. I went outside with him to go throw his ball around, because at this point he's still like super active and hadn't really lost a ton of weight, but I would say he lost about 10 pounds because, you know, he's a full-size lab at this point. And took him outside to throw the ball in. I see her after about like 45 minutes and she comes out and I was like, how's everything? Because, you know, when you live in a small town, you're pretty casual about things. How's everything? She's like, you need to come sit with me. And I'm just like, okay, I'll come sit with you. But I didn't know, I didn't want to believe it. So this is the part where I'm going to try not to cry. She brought me in her office and sat me down and she looked at me in the face and she says, your dog has bone cancer. She's like, he has one of the fastest growing rates of bone cancer that there is for dogs. She sat down and I asked to see it on the x-ray and she showed me the x-ray, and by the time all this happened, his area was really irritated, but I didn't realize it, but the outside of where the mass was pushing was actually pushing in the inside too. And she told me that, because I asked her, I was like, is his ribs broken? They weren't broken. I guess apparently this particular type of cancer eats away at the bones and makes it kind of look like powder. And so she told me, she looked under mic and said she saw that it is indeed bone cancer. I asked her how long he had left to live, because honestly it was very important for me, and if he was in any pain. She said at the moment he didn't look like he was in any pain. Maybe some discomfort from, you know, laying down and stuff, but not pain. So she told me that he would have 6 weeks to 2 months left to live. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how I was going to tell my husband, how I was going to tell my kids. Nothing. That my dog barely just turned 2 years old, that he was going to die. I mean, he even had other dog best friends he's been playing with. They were all puppies together and grew up together, and I I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. So I left there, and he knew by the looking at me in the car, and I looked at him, and I just cried, and I asked him, like, how this could happen. Sorry. I went home, and I promised myself that I would give him everything that I wouldn't let him get before, like, too many dog bones, because I didn't want him to get stuck in his throat, and, you know, too many treats, and, you know, things like that. And I wasn't gonna, like, overly wash him all the time anymore, because we were always, you know, wanting him to be clean and just happy. I promised myself that I would make sure that I bought him those big steaks instead of just giving him little ends. Because the doctor told me, she's like, there's nothing that you can do, like, it's gonna make this better or worse. You know, by the time I left the appointment, I realized surgery wasn't an option because it was in his bones, and that she told me the surgery was like $7,000, but he'd be spending the remainder of his life that he could be living and spending at home recovering from a surgery that's only still gonna kill him. Does that make sense? So I elected not to get the surgery because it wasn't going to make a difference, and I didn't want him suffering at the end. I wanted him to enjoy his days and smile. So from that moment forward, I made a bucket list for my dog. I gave him everything that I think a dog would ever want. We made a point to go on more family adventures with him and take him to do stuff. Took him swimming more, everything. My dog handled this so bravely. I don't cry very often, it's still tough. He handled it so bravely, and I'm proud of him. He ended up losing a lot of weight as the weeks went past, but he lived longer than they said he would by like 4 weeks. And then he'd gotten to the point where he couldn't. Sorry, I'm trying to eat, but I can't. He'd gotten to the point where he couldn't hold down any of his food anymore. He was throwing up every single thing. We knew it was time to put him down at that point. This is still so tough for me because, like, I loved him harder than I've ever loved another animal. I poured so much of myself into him to making sure that he had, like, the best upbringing and happy. You know, I wanted to breed him at some point so I could have one of his pups. And even before he passed away, we tried to see if he wanted to breed with one of my friend's dogs just to get a puppy from him. Or a couple. I mean, I didn't want to lose him because he had the best personality and he was so smart and so sweet. But he didn't end up breeding, and I never got him. Ever since Hunter passed away, I don't think I'm gonna get another dog. I don't even know if I could feel the same way about another dog. About 3 months afterwards, though, my kids were really missing having an animal companion in the house. And me, I'm like super notorious for going to like the vet's office and just wanting to hug animals but not take any home. So one day my husband and I were out of town and went over to one of like the ASPCA's kind of thing. SPCA. And we were hugging pets, and I came across a cat that is a very unique feature. She has a split face. So one half is dark and the other half is like a tabby looking cat, like an orange one. Super beautiful. But I felt a bond with her, and we adopted her that day. And she's been with us the last 3 months. Her name's Nidalee. And my kids call her Nidalee the rat monster. Just like with Hunter, we called him Hunter the rat monster. Even though we don't have any rats, my kids call them rats sometimes because they're always looking for things to, like, when they drop their food, they go pick it up, like, right away. So they always call them, like, the little rat monsters. I mean, we even had a bird once that was super old, but we took him in, and they called him Jeffrey the rat snatcher. So the kids are funny. But I miss Hunter every single day, and I look at his photos every single day too, and I miss him all the time. So today's about 6 months since he's passed away, and just waking up sick and tired still, and just missing him still. I was like, I'm gonna drown myself in Chinese food and try to get better and try to be positive, because I have to be for my kids, you know? You know, Hunter made me feel safe and loved. And if we ever decide to get a dog again, I will wait till I'm completely okay with the fact that he's passed away before I do so. Because I'll never bring a pet into my house that I can't physically bond with. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm their mom and taking care of them, you know? I still have all of his things. You know, have you guys ever lost a pet before and felt this strong about your pet? Like, missed your pet so much all the time? Because sometimes I feel like I'm the only person. Because nobody really talks about it very often, you know, like, I hate it because everybody sees so much death with, like, animals and things like that nowadays, and, you know, I see an animal on the side of the road that's passed away, and I feel like nobody cares. Like, it's just like, oh, there's another cat, or here's another dog. Like, for me, like, I just keep thinking about, like, I feel terrible. Absolutely terrible. I bet you weren't expecting a crying mukbang, were you? Where I'm, like, pouring my emotions and my sadness about my pet and my food, but today is just a hard day. You know, I'm one of these type of people that it looks like I'm in the happiest mood, but nobody can ever tell that I'm actually, like, really hurting inside. But I found nowadays in age, people don't even ask to see if you're hurting or offer you a hug or anything like that. That's okay. I know people like their private space. I'm not one of them. I'm, like, super in your face, like, are you okay? What can I do to help you? Hugs, hugs, hugs. You know, let me bring you a meal, whatever it takes to make your day better. This food's really hitting the spot. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for sharing my lunch with me. It is actually lunchtime right now. I'm sorry for all my tears. It's hard sometimes, right? And sometimes you just need to cry. And it's okay. Because every time I think about him, I cry. But, you know, when you feel so strongly about someone or something, you cry over it, and it happens. But, yeah. I just want to thank you guys for having lunch with me today. I'm pretty darn stuffed, and I'm pretty sure when my daughter gets home from school today, she's going to annihilate the rest of this food. I would love to know what you want to see me eat next time. If you have anything you want to say to me, please leave it in the comment box below. If you have seen my other videos where I'm not crying and you want to subscribe, I would love to get to know you and have you watch my videos and share part of my life with you. And if you get a chance, like this video. If you've ever felt like this before, you know what I mean, and lost and just hurt, you know, please like this video. And you know, I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Tomorrow I'm going to be having my girls over for Hoedown Showdown #2, so look out for that. And yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing day and take care.